What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to TD PHINS Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Make sure you punch that like button on your way in the building. We got us a late night stream here tonight at roughly around 9 p.m. Y'all get in the building, hit the like button, let people know that we are here. Shout out to the mod squad. Shout out to all the members of the channel. Thank y'all for your love and support continuously. We got some things to talk about. We're going to talk about Jeff Hafley, why I'm so impressed with him. We also going to talk about Malik Willis doubts, okay, which is blowing my mind, all right? And then maybe we get into a mock draft 3.0, our third mock draft here on the channel, breaking into hey, who are we going to be picking, man? So it's a lot of options out here. There's a lot of ways the Dolphins could go. We're going to get into all of that and more. But again, before we even dive straight in, hit the like button. And again, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you are new, because I'm looking at my stats and about 30% of the people that watch are subscribed. So what's up with the other 70%? Y'all watching on the low and act like y'all can't hit the button? Now, I know some of y'all watch via web, not signed into YouTube. Go ahead and get you a YouTube account. They're not stealing your information, okay? I know a lot of people, I ain't signing into these things. They steal your information. Listen, everybody and their mama got your information already, all right? This is 2026. It's not one of those things. Sign into YouTube and go ahead and subscribe to the channel so that you can be locked in on notifications and everything that we do, all right? So, and we're 20 away from 35,300. Yeah, we crossed 35,000 a month ago, and we're 20 subs away from 35,300. So to the 280 new subscribers in the last month, welcome to the family, and thank you for tuning in to TD PHINS Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Well, without further ado, we're not going to waste your time. We're going to get into it. Jeff Hafley, I have a little proof, basically, that Jeff Hafley will be an amazing coach, okay? Now, I've done a lot of preaching on this channel. I've done a lot of talking about, my beliefs, my football philosophies, and all of that good stuff. But what I realize is coach is coach, right? And as of late, you've had coaches and people that say things like, put it like this, coach talk. You have people that give coach talk. We know what coach talk is. They tell you all the good things. They tell you what you want to hear, the general answer to things without great detail. And a lot of people have accused Jeff Hafley and John Eric Sullivan of already giving GM and coach talk, but there's something different about these guys. I feel like their talk is a whole lot more genuine, and they actually have a football philosophy. And they stand behind their philosophy and they believe in it. And guess what I love the most? Their football philosophy matches what I believe football philosophy should be. Okay. And we're going to dive into that because I remember quite some years ago, this had to be about 4 or 5 years ago, I used to debate with some gentlemen on the channel. And I used to always say this one point and they would disagree. They would say things like, coaches have to get players that fit their scheme. And I agree with that to a degree, that coaches should get players to fit their scheme. But I had this little caveat that I always threw into the conversation that I truly believed. And that caveat is great coaches don't get players to fit the scheme. Great coaches create a scheme that fits their players. Let me say that again. Great coaches don't get players that fit their scheme. Great coaches create a scheme that fits the players. Because you're not going to always have what you want, especially when you're rebuilding like the Miami Dolphins. So Jeff Hafley, he can come in. He can say on the defensive side of the ball, this is what I like. This is what we're going to do. We need to get this type of player, that type of player, this type of player, and that type of player, right? But the reality is, in a complete rebuild like we're doing, especially on the defensive side of the ball for the most part, you can't do it all in one season. You can go get the corner you love, the safety you love, the linebacker you love, the edge you love. But guess what? The offseason is over and you don't have the defensive tackle you love. You don't have the nickel that you love. You don't have the outside linebacker that you love that fits your scheme. But great coaches, it doesn't matter, because what a great coach is going to do, he's going to take a look at the players, identify what their strengths are, and create a scheme that puts everybody in the best position to maximize the contribution they can give to the entire team. So these individuals don't operate off of this is the scheme I run, but instead, this is the personnel I have, and we're best suited operating out of this type of play. And I've always felt that's what makes great coaches. So you're not bottlenecked into, oh, well, he doesn't fit the scheme. He doesn't fit. We're switching to a 4-3. He doesn't fit the scheme. There's no such thing for great coaches. And guess what? Our very own Omar Kelly was asking some very pointed questions to Jeff Hafley as of recently in the press conferences about scheme, about players, about what you look for. And I promise y'all, I couldn't stop smiling. I just couldn't stop smiling because his answer was exactly what I just explained to you all. The answer he gave was exactly what I just explained to you all. And that's what the Dolphins need. That's what we need. A coach who, that's why, see, a lot of people are doubting or bashing me. Oh, how could you be that high on this team right now? Everybody's like, oh my gosh, these guys ain't proved nothing yet. Why are you so high on them? Because I know what's rare. See, it doesn't take much to identify what's rare. And when you identify something that's good and rare, you have to give it the benefit of the doubt. Now, some of you all may not give it the benefit of the doubt, but it would behoove you to do so. And I feel like these guys have already shown rare traits in just their football philosophy in general. Now, they got to back it up, obviously, right? But you can automatically tell what direction you're headed in based off of the language and what they're saying. And what's even more refreshing, people will be like, "Oh, it's coach talk. What you expect them to say?" And that's the beautiful part. He literally came out. I'm not just going to come out here and give y'all fluff, coach talk. He said it out of his own mouth. I'm not here to give you just coach talk. I'm telling you what it is. The transparency is on 10. It's 10 out of 10, and I love it. And you get to understand. See, real coaches that understand what works and what is really expected of coaches and GMs, they don't mind telling you the truth and what it is because they live by those principles and they're going to back it up. See, these guys aren't guessing. These guys aren't guessing with what they do. They have sound reasoning behind every decision that they've made so far. How many times have I already told y'all this would be smart? This is a contingency, that and that, and they've been executing it exactly like I've been saying to y'all. That's why I'm so high on them, because I've identified over the last 6, 7, 8 years why we failed. And now I'm telling y'all this needs to happen, that needs to happen. And the last regime would go totally opposite. And then you look at the results. And now I'm saying this needs to happen, that needs to happen, and everything I'm saying is happening in line. That's why I'm high on them. This is why I'm high on them, because I have sound reasoning and logic behind even the decisions that I believe that they're going to make, and so do they. When this man broke down why he traded Waddle, it was exactly what I kept telling y'all for the last 5 years. Stop falling in love with players, especially while we're rebuilding, just to get their prime out of them to win 7 to 10 games and win no playoff games. What's the benefit of having them? So you can feel happy about having a good player on a losing team? No, trade them and get young assets. And those who've been watching this channel for quite some time, you know I've been preaching that religiously. I've been preaching that so consistently. I know some of y'all tired of me making that point. So whenever I see a coach and a general manager actually exercising that and then come out in a press conference and tell you exactly why we traded Waddle out of his own mouth, regurgitated what I've been telling y'all for years, him saying Waddle's a great player, but when you look at where we are as an organization and when we were ready to really compete 3 years from now, what does that look like? And he's going to want more money. It doesn't make sense for us. So let's allow him to go compete somewhere else. And we can get a young asset, get younger and cheaper. I've been preaching this to the moon. And when I get a coach that comes out and gives just the perfect logic behind what I've been saying, of course I'm going to get behind it. Of course I think that he's a great coach because he knows he's making sense of it all. Making pure sense of it all. And in regards to HN, listen, I do want HN traded, but if he's not traded, it's not a dumb move. It's not a dumb move if you keep nor trade HN. And the biggest factor is because of his age, he still fits into that young category. And we're not paying anybody massively right now going into the future other than dead cap. And you can absorb that contract if you do give him a big deal. But if you do trade him, I ain't mad at that either. So either way, whatever they decide to do with HN, I don't have a problem with it. He doesn't fit the requirements of what I keep telling y'all. Now, Brooks, on the other hand, man, go get what you can for him now. But you want him to lead the league in tackles for the next 2 years and then no longer be the same version 3 years from now? All in the name of, well, we need leaders. No, we don't, because these same leaders weren't leaders when the last regime was here. These same leaders, I don't care how much, he stepped up to be a leader. He ain't step up enough to stop players from putting their hands on coaches and cursing coaches out on the sideline. I'm sorry. I'm okay. Go get me a third-round pick if you can. Maybe 2. So Jeff Hafley and these guys, it doesn't matter if we don't get all the players that fit what he'd love this offseason. He's going to create a defense that gives us the best chance to win based off of the personnel that we have. So stop thinking everything has to be a finished product this year. And I'm telling y'all now, I think that we are going to overachieve this year. Now, notice I said overachieve because really we shouldn't win more than 5-6 games this year. And that might even stand true even if we have a good draft. But I'm telling you, these guys play smart, not hard. And I think that they're going to infuse that in everything we do. And you're going to look up and the Miami Dolphins might be the team that shocks everybody with double-digit wins. I'm telling y'all, football isn't as complicated as y'all think. Sometimes you got a roster that nobody know anything about the players on it, and they play and they still show up and win games. Let me give y'all an example, right? And follow me on this because you're going to think I'm wrong whenever I name the team, okay? Take Minnesota Vikings 2 years ago. The Minnesota Vikings 2 years ago. Now, I understand they have Justin Jefferson and they had Atkinson and Addison, all of those guys, right? But I think that this offense this year can be just as good as the Vikings offense was 2 years ago with Sam Darnold. And here's the kicker. Brian Flores had a whole bunch of no-name guys on that defense, man. Brian Flores, and these guys won 14 games. Brian Flores, 13 or 14 games. Brian Flores had a whole bunch of no-name guys, and you think the offense led the way? You'd be wrong, because Sam Darnold struggled against good teams 2 years ago. They had a defense with a whole bunch of no-name guys. They didn't even have a corner. They went in a draft and drafted 2 corners. One of them, something happened. He was out for the season, and the other one, God rest his soul, he passed away in the offseason. They drafted a corner early and he passed away. And the other guy, I think he got hurt or something like that. But look at what that team was able to do because of the coaching. Because of the coaching on that team. They played for their coach. They played well. They played hard. And we just out here discounting what Hafley and what John Eric Sullivan can bring in and what Hafley can do. We just automatically like, oh, man, this ain't going to be no good team, blah, blah, blah. Man, we might get through. Guys, see, this is another thing that y'all need to realize because we're not used to it. What if they draft a whole bunch of guys with the right pedigree? Miss me with talent. What about pedigree? Dogs. A room full of dogs. They don't even have to be the most talented players, but they dogs. They ain't backing down from no fight. They ain't getting punched in the mouth without punching you back in the mouth, letting you know, oh no, I'm here. You ain't gonna be doing that just to do it, like the teams of the past. They've been punching us in the mouth. All that talent we had. And this is another thing a lot of y'all don't even assess. Some of y'all don't even think about this. You know how we talk about we lose to all the good teams over the last regime and the last team, how we lose to all the good teams? Are we going to sit here and lie to ourselves and act like we ain't lose to some bad ones too? Every single time we lost to Tennessee, y'all know we were the most talented team. We lost to the coach, you know we were a better team. We lost to so many bad teams too that we don't talk about. Why do you think them bad teams won? Because they had more grit. They had more dog in them in those games. They fought to the end. And how you know the Dolphins can't build that right away with the atmosphere and with the entire team? Stop sleeping on that element of the game. And I know it's easy to sleep on because you ain't used to seeing what it looks like to have real dogs. And dogs ain't got to be talented. Everybody think a dog got to be the best player. No, a dog is somebody, just listen, man, they going to stand their ground. They're not going to be pushed over and bullied. You might even beat them on a snap, but they ain't finna be bullied all game. And then you look up and you still in the game and it's the fourth quarter with 3 minutes left and you down by maybe 6. That's when you get to find out who you got at quarterback. Stop writing this team off, man. Stop with it. I ain't mad at people, man. The truth is I get it. We've been let down so much. But I'm sorry. This is like my last hope. And here's why. I'm hearing it all. I'm hearing it from our coaches. They're going to do it the right way. All of these people that keep on bringing up this negativity, it sounds like you talking about Chris Greer and Mike McDaniel. Y'all got to get that out y'all system. Y'all have to get that out your system. These guys ain't give you not an iota. What decision did they trip on yet? What decision did they show y'all that they incompetent? What did they do so far to say that's proof right there they're incompetent? Whatever you name, I'll show you somebody who's naming something that doesn't see the big picture. I don't have a single move they made so far that wasn't the right one, that sets us up for long-term success, that thinks about the future and not just now. And that's the problem. A lot of people don't want to admit this about the last regime. They put themselves in a corner. Their whole, after Flores was fired, every move they made handcuffed them. Put themselves in a corner. Even if they wanted to make the right decision, it would be a gross admission of previous stupidity. And they just couldn't do it. Even if they wanted to make the right decisions, they couldn't, because it would be an admission of previous failures that they wrote it all on. I'm trying to tell y'all, a lot of y'all still don't believe this, but what happened with the last regime? They sold out on a guy that they didn't even believe in. But you know what they thought they could do? They could buy so much talent around them that even with the shortcomings, we would prevail. And they had a lot of people fooled at first. But the one thing about fugazi, the one thing about fraudness, it doesn't stand the time. It does not. It can't sustain itself. It's going to eventually rear its ugly head. Any greatness coming out of it is temporary and short-lived. It will always show its ugly head. You know why? Because you run out of resources to keep hiding the inefficiencies. Even if they wanted to make the right decision, they had already put themselves in a corner in which they could not, because it would be an admission that they had made the wrong decision. This is why it was so easy to predict all this crap in the last few years. If you didn't see it coming, it's because you don't think long term. Every move you make has to be long term. Why would we trade Waddle? Are you thinking about 3 years from now, when it's time to compete and he's ready for a new contract? And even though he may not be worth $45 million, the market will give it to him. So he's asking us for it. And we're like, well, get rid of him then. Then you don't have the trade leverage. Then you're not getting the first round pick. Now you're talking about a 4th or 5th round pick. So you basically get nothing. And for those who in their mind, well, you don't know that, then what? I know it because there's proof. We've had worse. Can you tell me what we've gotten for Christian Wilkins? Can you tell me what we got for Robert Hunt? Can you tell me what we got for Calais Campbell when we had a chance to trade him? Can you tell me what we got for Zach Sealer, who should have been traded, but now he's still on the roster, getting paid good money to do whatever, play good or play bad? Who cares? We're rebuilding. How much did we get for Xavier Howard? Andrew Van Ginkel? I mean, it goes on and on. I can keep going. You want me to keep going? We could go down this list. I told you. Get rid of Ramsey. I've been said that too. We end up having to almost pay to get rid of him. And that leads me to another one. No, TD, we got Minka for him. I forgot what we got for Minka. Can y'all remind me what we got for Minka? Because I don't even remember. The former 1st round pick. I forgot. Was it a 3rd or 4th or 5th? I don't even remember. We swapped 5ths or something like that. What did we get for Javon Holland? Anybody? It's crazy. Did we get anything for Brandon Jones? All these players you could have gotten something for before you moved on. But you wanted to, no, you can't get rid of everybody. Holland wasn't traded, TD. I know. That's the point. You should have. You drafted the man late first round or early second. I think early second. And you got nothing. That's the point. He wasn't traded. So the answer to what did we get for him was nothing. Why didn't you trade him the year before? Like I was telling y'all, Holland ain't what y'all think he is. You probably ain't going to pay him, so you should trade him now. Some of y'all missing my point. This ain't just about the tradable. All of them were tradable. That's the point I'm making. Whether they were traded or not, they were all tradable at some point where you knew they weren't the future. Come on, man. He just kept on getting it wrong. And here's the deal. You gave up assets for big-time players and never went and got assets for big-time players and let them walk in free agency. Like, we're the Miami Oprahs. You get a player. You get a player. You get to walk for nothing. You get to walk for nothing. Like, that's where we failed. So miss me with the why would they trade Waddle? They see the big picture. Now it's time for y'all to see the big picture. Don't tell me no comp picks for some. Don't tell me no comp picks for some. Most of them we wiped out because we went and got bigger free agencies or we traded for bigger guys. We ain't get no quality comp picks. Nothing worth nothing. We ain't get no quality comp picks. And if I go back and do my research, we might have got 1 or 2 comp picks that didn't even do nothing. If that, because I don't even think we did, because everybody that we kept letting walk, we would go get a Ramsey or Tyree, and we kept on getting players. Armstead and Brewers and all of that, and they played at a high level that wiped out the compensation. Or they got hurt wherever they went. Christian Wilkins got hurt. That wiped out any potential comp. Robert Hunt even got hurt, wiping out stuff. We ain't get, but Holland, I think, even got, man, I don't think we got nothing. And all he could do is come out and say, you know, they bet on themselves and they won. Lord Jesus. Take the wheel. So excuse me whenever I see a coach who gets the philosophy long-term success for the team, who cares about the long-term success of the team. And I need y'all to start thinking about the long-term success of the team. With all due respect, screw these players. Who cares? If like I want y'all to think about this, because one thing that I'm totally against is telling a fan how to fan, even though I'm about to proceed to tell you how to fan. No, I ain't gonna tell you how to fan. I'm just gonna remind you of something. You're a Miami Dolphins fan. You are a Miami Dolphins fan. Players come and go. You are a Miami Dolphins fan. Organization, the team that can be different every year. Stop falling in love with these players. And as a fan, I would urge you, not telling you how to fan, but I would urge you to do what's best for the organization as if it was your money. Think of the game as doing what's best for the organization as if it was your money. For too long, for about 15 years now, I've noticed the trend in the fan base community. Why do you care? It's not your money. It's my proudness of the product they put on the field. It doesn't have to be my money. I'm a Dolphins fan. What's more valuable than that money that they're spending is my proudness of being a fan of the product they put on the field. And the money that they give these players is a direct correlation and effect to the product that they're able to put on the field. They have to make smart decisions. Everybody doesn't need to get paid. Everybody shouldn't get paid. I want the best version of the team on the field. And here's more proof that y'all need to stop with this pay the man. We paid everybody. We paid everybody. What did that do? What good did that do? Armstead was getting paid. Whatever center we had was getting paid. Austin Jackson was getting paid. Zach Sealer was getting paid. Jalen Ramsey was getting paid. Tyreek Hill was getting paid. Moser got a little change. Tua definitely got paid. Waddle, Tyreek already said. Come on. We paid more people than most teams pay. And what was the result? Y'all think paying people gets it done? Paying people does not get it done. You got to pay the right person. You got to pay a dog who know how to lead and not be a distraction. Real football players. not divas who live off their laurels of being a great player and thinking they can do whatever they want to do. That's a character thing too. Cause you great, you like, oh, I ain't one of these scrubs. They don't do me like that. Like that's that high mighty thought process. Now it's one thing to go get your money, but your behavior and how you lead on this team, I don't think you pay nobody who is not undoubtedly a leader. You can have the best edge rusher. You can have Myles Garrett. If he wasn't a great leader, don't pay him. You don't pay non-leaders just because they good. I don't care how good you is. If you ain't leading the masses and the masses don't respect you and what you say, you're not worthy of getting paid. For the Miami Dolphins, you're going to get paid somewhere. But you literally have to have principles that you live by. This is why the dog doesn't start at the quarterback or the leaders on the team. It starts with the general manager. He got to be a dog, which means he ain't letting no player run over him. He ain't letting no player run over his coaching staff either. I don't care how good you is. You play that high mighty game, you out of here. But it also goes hand in hand for a general manager to identify if that player has a potential to act that way, period, anyway. It ain't just drafting the right players. It's drafting and trading the right players that if you gave them $100 million, they ain't going to flip on you and act bigger than thou, whatever. You need true leaders. Guys who love the game, are bought in, and have a real desire to win a Super Bowl, who have a real desire to have a great legacy, who have a real desire of brotherhood, who have a real desire to carry his peers with him and hold each other accountable to the highest standard, to give his all at every turn. That's what you want to fill this roster with. Because you know what? Whether you win a Super Bowl or not, that's the type of team that every fan would appreciate because they fighting so hard that they're always in it. They're always relevant. They always give us hope, even if we fall short. See, that's the hope we need. We don't need this hope that we've been having. Can't even make the playoffs. And if we do, we miss the, like, I want take me to the conference round or take me to the conference championship 3 times out of 5 years, even if you lose every one of them. But knowing that these guys are fighting every step of the way to get there. Because here's what I learned about football in my time doing this channel. Everybody ain't going to win a Super Bowl. It doesn't matter how good you are because you can be rare. You can do all the right things, right? But it might be 3 other teams that do it as well. And that's why all 4 of y'all in the conference championship games. But somebody got to lose. It's not guaranteed. So I've realized if you don't win a Super Bowl, it's not actually a failure. But you got to perennially be able to get to the big games like in late January. You got to be able to threaten those games and have a chance. Because once it gets to that point, it ain't no who quarterback better. And this is what I try to tell y'all with my football philosophy. A quarterback is supposed to carry you through the regular season and win 3 to 5 more games that you otherwise would not have because of how great they are and how they impact the game. Quarterback's supposed to hold you down in a wild card round too. But once you get past that round card round, the further you go, the less it's really on the quarterback. Because you're playing elite defenses that have a game plan to take away what the guys do well and all of that. It has to be a team effort. Just like they took your quarterback away, you got to take theirs away. That's where, like, people think the quarterback got to carry you to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl. You're wrong. Quarterback got to make sure you get in them playoffs and at least win that preliminary game in the playoffs. Outside of that, yeah, you still get held accountable if you don't play well, but it's not just on the quarterback. Nobody's going to be perfect at that point. It's not easy. Yeah, you'll get a rare performance of perfection. But you know what it reminds me of? Patriots versus Eagles. We're talking about two offenses that put up over 1,000 yards. Two offenses put up over 1,000 total yards. 1,000. I think the quarterbacks both had over 400 passing yards. Just going back and forth. Screw the defenses. There was nothing they could do. And I always tell people, in this case, it did come down to the quarterback. And in this case, whether people want to believe it or not, see, people would say, oh, no, the defense is what lost the Patriots that game. Man, leave me alone with that, because the Patriots defense ain't lose that game, because the Eagles defense was just as bad. The Eagles defense was just as bad. But that game comes down to one play. And both teams ran the same play. One team executed it and one didn't. It was a trick play, but the quarterback had to catch the ball. Nick Foles caught it. Tom Brady, it was just overthrown off the tippity tip of his fingers. And it would have been easy. I mean, it was wide open. It came down to that one play. That one play. We're talking about two juggernaut teams. And that's what it comes down to. But and we're not going to say that's on Tom Brady. Full extension, he tried. Ball barely overthrown by a guy who doesn't throw the ball and shouldn't be. But that's what it comes down to. It's a team game the further you get into playoffs. It's a team game. That's why when people say, oh, C.J. Stroud was so horrible, he was, but I know you want to put it all on him, but the O-line was pitiful too. It ain't like the receivers was open. It was bad, but a lot of bad stuff was on that field. The further you get in those playoffs, man. And that's why even that same token, people say Drake May played horrible in that game too. And that's where I disagreed. Yeah, he didn't play good throwing the football at all. But y'all underestimate his 11 rushes for 60 yards and like 5 of them were first downs in critical moments. On the surface, it looked like he did absolutely nothing in that game. And technically, he didn't in that aspect. But he contributed to the win in those rushing yards in critical third down moments to keep the ball in the Patriots' hands. See, we think everything got to be in a spectacular performance. I've always said this about our last quarterback. He don't have to be the reason we lose the game. Just don't contribute to the loss. And if you want to make a contribution to the win, that's what makes a franchise quarterback. It don't have to be all pretty. You could throw for 112 yards and be 13 for 40. But did you make critical key plays when it mattered most? Every game ain't going to be great. People ignore the last Super Bowl Patrick Mahomes was in. I got people arguing with me, telling me that this man was not garbage in that Super Bowl. He was putrid. I mean, straight garbage. But we don't look at it the same because it's Patrick Mahomes and he's done it good so many times that we just kind of like brushed off the bad performance and to the point to where we don't even remember it was bad. We just know they didn't win. He was horrible. Oh, gee, but the Eagles' defense was, it doesn't matter. Patrick Mahomes has made a living off of scoring good defenses. Great pass rushes. With bad on the man won a Super Bowl with the 2 worst left tackles in the NFL. Don't give me the excuse. Yeah, but his O-line was, he's won a Super Bowl with an O-line that bad before. It happens. It happens. It ain't all on everybody. And for the record, I was never that individual that was trying to put it all on our last quarterback. But you cannot contribute to these losses unless you add the pedigree. So don't think I'm going to be this baby about Malik Willis. People think when I say draft a quarterback in the second round or the third round and Ty Simpson is there or whoever, right? They think that me wanting to do that is me not believing in Malik Willis. No, it's about contingencies. Nothing is guaranteed. I believe in him and I believe he's going to be our franchise quarterback. Does that mean I can't be wrong? Because if I am wrong, I'm going to be so happy that a contingency was built in. That's what makes you right. That's what thinking long term. Every year there's a quarterback that comes out that nobody saw coming and plays very well. Y'all know what quarterback played very well last year, but nobody talks about? Excuse me. Does anybody know what quarterback in the NFL played very well last year and nobody talks about him? If I'm not mistaken, he was a rookie, right? For the Saints. Tyler Show? Anybody? He played very well. He led that team, led that offense. And nobody said it was a perfect picture, but he played very well. Very well. Every year there's somebody that nobody believed would be the guy. End up being a guy. So you have to maximize your potential of finding a guy. You can't put all your eggs in one basket with Malik Willis. What if he got hurt week 3? What if he got hurt in training camp? You know, that's the real kicker. Oh, well, we got Quinn Ewers. Yeah, we got Quinn Ewers. What if he goes down? Not saying that these things are happening, nor is it high probability, but things happen. And you should have a contingency plan. Why are we always so scared of potentially having 2 great quarterbacks? Ain't that a beautiful problem to have? What if Malik the guy, but Ty Simpson or, you know, another guy ends up showing you he's just as good? Isn't that a beautiful problem to have? Got to think long-term success for the organization. Stop falling in love with these players. Do what's best for the team. As fans, I understand, like, I think I've cured myself from that fandom of players because a lot of y'all done wasted a lot of money in the last 5 years on jerseys because who's still here, whose jersey you bought? If you purchased the Miami Dolphins player jersey in the last 5 years, 9.5 times out of 10, that player ain't even here no more. The only player on this roster jersey you might have, and that's a might, is A-Chain. I remember, oh my gosh, this made me feel bad. I remember 2 years ago, people were like, hey, TD, whose jersey is safe to get? And I would be like, Waddle, he just signed a contract. But that could be done in 2 years. But he's the safest. Now, look. I like what we're doing. I'm excited to see what we put on the field this year. And I truly believe it's going to shock everybody. I truly think that what we do this year is going to shock everybody. The only real concern that I have, y'all, is how well Jeff Hafley can get this defense to play as soon as possible. That's the only concern I have. And we'll see what that ends up being. But the offense, I'm telling y'all, from a trait standpoint, And we're going to be this zone. We're going to be running this zone blocking. We're going to be running that offense with play action with Malik Willis. Do y'all realize the last quarterback we had, if he was as mobile as Malik Willis, I might have believed he could have won us a Super Bowl. No lie. Because his indeficiencies would have easily been covered up by that trait. I always said this. He got some traits, but the problem is he's missing one more. He needs one more. And the only one that was possible, because you ain't going to just have better arm strength. By the time you get to the NFL, your arm strength is your arm strength, okay? Even if you made improvements, it's microscopic that nobody will truly notice. You can't grow taller. You can't get a stronger arm. It's not likely. So the only thing that was possible is his mobility, and really that was a far stretch, and it never happened. Matter of fact, it was reducing every year. And that was the problem. I think we're going to heavy RPO. We're going to give the defense a lot to worry about. That's why it's so important for them to just get one nice receiver in the draft. One nice receiver in the draft. And I think this offense can be more electric than people know. I can't believe how much people sleep on Malik Willis. It honestly, it honestly baffles me how much people sleep on Malik Willis. Give me a second. I'm gonna see if I can pull this thing up that was sent to me. Y'all will probably love to see. Oh man, why isn't it coming up for me? It's gonna take a little. Wait, hold on. Maybe this is it. Nope, it's not. All right, cool. All right, but while I try to pull that up, let me share with y'all the official sponsor for TD Fans Talk is Prize Picks. We're gonna get back into it because I want to talk about Malik Willis for a second. I put some picks in tonight on Prize Picks. Let's see here. Okay, here it is. Yeah. So I've already hit one with France, but Paulo blew it for me. But here's the thing that I like about Prize Picks. I did the 6-pick flex play. So even if I miss one, I still get a payout. Even if I miss two, I still get a payout. So that's what I love about it. But Benchero, man, 3 more points and he couldn't get it. 3 more. He blew it for me, but it's all good. I got some players in action right now. I want y'all to follow me on Prize Picks. Go over to Prize Picks and find me, Tony Dow, all right? That way you can copy my picks. You can see what picks I'm making, what I'm winning on, what I'm losing on. All of those things will be available, all right? Take advantage of the opportunity. Supporting our sponsors is supporting the channel. And don't forget, if you play $5, you get $50 instantly in lineups using code HMA. All right. Tomorrow, I'm going to get y'all help in building out my next picks because NBA is pretty hot. I try to do a few picks every night. And sometimes I do the 2 to 3. I think that's what sometimes I go big for 6 picks. But I think the smart thing sometimes when you do the 2 to 3, with the 3 to 4 picks, it's more likely to actually hit. And that's where I win the most. All right. But get in the action with Prize Picks, ladies and gentlemen. Again, the link is in the description of the video. Supporting our sponsors is supporting the channel. Thank y'all for supporting. All right. Now, I want to talk about Malik Willis. Real quick here. Okay. First of all, I don't think a lot of people believe in Malik Willis. I don't think a lot of people have true belief in Malik Willis as our quarterback, like making it to be our franchise quarterback. And I'm getting that notion off of people whenever I rave about him. Whenever I say things like, man, he going to be a top 7 quarterback this year, right? I want to ask y'all a question. What weaknesses do you see in Malik Willis's game? And this is an honest question. What weaknesses do you see in Malik Willis's game? And honestly, I'm asking y'all so y'all can help me. Help me. Because I don't understand why so many people are doubting the potential of him being a top 10, top 7 quarterback. And nobody can answer that question. What weakness do you see in Malik Willis's game? Nobody can answer that question. Now, I know there's some smart Alex. I mean, we can't answer because he only got 3 games. But if I asked y'all what weakness you see in Zach Wilson's game for the Dolphins, or I ask you what weakness you see in Quinn Ewers or other guys, you would try to name them. See, if it's bad, see, here's the funny part. You can't name the weakness in his game and then want to use an excuse of, well, he only got 3 starts in Green Bay. But you can point out all the bad he did in Tennessee. You can try to point out all the bad in Tennessee. But you don't see those Tennessee traits in Green Bay anymore. But it ain't enough games. So why should I listen to how you feel about what happened in Tennessee? Let me tell y'all something about Malik Willis, man. I don't see the aspect of his game that's going to hold him back. I truly believe the Dolphins might have a steal that a lot of people just don't recognize yet because we're scared to make common sense of it. What weakness in his game do you see him having? You can't say. But you can doubt it. You can't say what weakness he has in his game, but you can still doubt him because he wasn't a top draft pick. He didn't ball out immediately in Tennessee. He didn't do this or he didn't do that. And you're using all of that as the justification of you doubting and not being optimistic, but being pessimistic. Now, something tells me many of you that feel this way were very optimistic about the last guy. Let me take a sip of my water. Something tells me many of you same individuals were very optimistic about the last guy. And now I'm going to ask you an even better question. Why were you optimistic about the last guy? What made you optimistic? Talk to me, y'all. Talk to me. Talk to me. For those who were optimistic about the last guy, even if you admit he fooled me, I was wrong, whatever, forget that. It's okay you was wrong. It ain't even that big of a deal. But what made you optimistic? I ain't talking to y'all that was never optimistic. I'm talking to the few people who truly believed in the last guy. Please tell me the things that made you believe. You believe because before the hip injury, he was pretty good. Does Malik Willis have hip concerns? Everybody in the chat that could give me a reason why you were optimistic, I want to ask you. Malik Willis have any of those issues? Bama injury was horrific. I was out after. See, I'm different than a lot of y'all. I saw it in Bama before the injury. He wasn't going to be a good NFL player. Y'all really think the hip stopped him from being a good NFL player? That hip wasn't finna help him throw the ball down the field 55 yards in the NFL. Most of them bombs in college was 45, 50 yards max. And some of them guys still had to slow down to catch them. See, I pointed this out before we drafted Tua. I said, I want y'all to go look at all them deep balls in college. Go look at when he hiked the ball, faked the handoff, and turned around. The wide receiver had 8-foot separation. Why every time a receiver caught it deep, it was 2-yard separation, but they ran fast and in for the touchdown? You start with 8 feet separation, and by the time you catch the ball, it's 2 feet separation. I knew right away in the NFL, that gap ain't going to be 8 feet to begin with. It might be 5. And when they catch the ball, they're going to bat it down or intercept it. But, Miami hid that from y'all by going to get Tyreek Hill to make sure it was 8-foot separation. They hid that from you. I knew this before the hip. I knew that this man also blindly threw the deep ball 99% of the time. What do I mean by blindly throwing the deep ball? Some of y'all still deny this. And all you got to do is go look at the film because some of y'all think he the fastest processor of all time. I said pre-draft, his mechanics and manipulation were elite. His mechanics and how he would look a safety off. That safety veer, he come back the other way and he just throw it. He ain't even looking to see if it's open. He just throw it. He just throw it. And lucky him having all them Bama receivers, always 8-foot separation. Y'all thought this man was just the heavenly savior of the deep ball, throwing the ball to these top receivers. And every time he did it blindly. Until the big games where I remember Clemson, if I'm not mistaken, and LSU. There were 2 big games that he played and he lost. And I remember the players of those teams that won would say, oh, Tua, yeah, we know. Don't get fooled by his eyes. If he look left, he gonna throw right if it's deep. And if the guy he look at second ain't open, the ball coming anyway. They literally said this. They were laughing after the game. They were laughing after the game. Yeah, we knew. We knew that ball, whether it's open or not, he gonna throw the football. He gonna throw it. Like, these were players that would say this, right? Nobody paid attention to it. Everybody brushed it off. Oh, he just had a bad game. Well, he just didn't play his greatest. Then he comes into the NFL and players start saying the same thing. And what do Dolphins fans do? Oh, he just bitter that Tyreek put up 120 on him. Players after the game, oh, we weren't worried about Tua. We knew he was going to throw it in the spot anyway or do this or do that. Oh, he's just bitter. Y'all just love attacking people, trying to tell you what they're seeing. They're literally trying to tell you what they're seeing on the defensive side of the football, and Dolphin fans just kept chucking it up of, oh, they just mad or they just hating. The evidence was all around y'all the whole time. He was never as good of a quarterback as y'all thought he was, not even in college. When you loaded up with the best O-line in all of college football, the best wide receiving core in all of college football, a really good run game, and y'all just, that didn't even factor into some of y'all thought process with Tua Tagovailoa. Didn't even factor in. Y'all think all his limitations showed up in the NFL? Oh, he was a lot more mobile before. No, he wasn't. He was just younger. He was just younger. He was never a top-flight mobile quarterback. He was never even close to being mentioned with the Lamars of the world or the Kyler Murrays of the world. Never. No, he was a lot more mobile coming out of high school. He was known as a dual threat. Everybody a dual threat when you got wide open lanes in the O-line. Y'all got so enamored off of a national championship, playing half the game and win the no-look touchdown at the end. And called him the savior. And it sucked to be the person who concluded this in his evaluation and nobody else agrees. It sucks to be that person, and that's little old me. And immediately, you're a Tua hater before we even drafted him. And it's like, dang, I guess I'm going to have to live with this stigma, and I hope he proves me wrong the entire time. I hope he proves me wrong. I was always waiting on him to prove me wrong. And the saddest part about it all, some of y'all, oh, I can't wait for him to prove me wrong. Y'all don't realize I actually genuinely hope that he did. You think I was having fun the last 6 years telling y'all how bad he was? That wasn't fun because we losing. And even when we winning, I know it was going to amount to nothing. Why are people still talking about Tua, man? Let that guy move on in his career. He has moved on. We're not stopping him from moving on. Tua is going to be a conversation in the Miami Dolphins community for the next 20 years. Just like we mentioned Matt Moore, Pat White, and Tannehill, and Henne, and all of them on occasions. He's just the latest example of what not to be fooled by, because too many, it was like propaganda around here. You know how many people was drinking the Kool-Aid? So many people was drinking the Kool-Aid. It's almost like he needs to be talked about for the next 10 years just to make sure y'all remember not to go down the propaganda lane again. It's all good for y'all to buy into this propaganda, while people who don't buy into it got to suffer. I hope he discussed for the next 100 years in the name of this team. Don't ever make that kind of mistake again. Ever. There was not an intangible coming out of college that you could have been like, yeah, we got to have that. He was short, didn't have the strongest of arms, not mobile. Matter of fact, a lot of y'all believe he became more accurate in the pros. He wasn't even that accurate in college. Oh, my gosh, man. No, man. Heck no. Ain't nobody let the men just stop talking about nope. Because some of y'all ready to fall right back in the same propaganda. I just don't get it. I don't even know what trait we was holding on to, other than the fact that he was an Alabama winner. Y'all love holding me accountable about my takes. Anybody getting held accountable about that guy? Y'all love holding me accountable about my takes. Anybody, y'all out here holding anybody accountable about the last guy? All these same people that be talking all that trash? So nah, keep that same energy. I'm sorry. A lot of y'all got to be reminded. Y'all got to be reminded, because it was not cool. Y'all demonized people, and that's what y'all did. Y'all demonized people for having their opinion, and then humbly telling y'all, just allow time to tell. You start hating these people. Some people were hating people that didn't believe in Tua. So no, No, maybe I'm on one right now, but you know what? I'm entering that freaking door. I'm going to be honest with you. Some of y'all came with such vitriol and hate, especially towards me. No, y'all going to be reminded on occasions that you shouldn't be evaluating nothing to do with quarterbacks. Death threats and all kind of stupid stuff. Going as far as to make Reddit accounts and bad reviews and putting my kids in things where they're getting assaulted. I have a newborn daughter, and wishing the worst happens to her in a violating way. Like some of y'all were being real stupid. I'm just saying what it is. Just being real stupid over another person. Just ridiculous. So excuse me whenever I get on my high horse sometimes and remind you. All of that for that? All of that for that? Attacking me that way for this result? But I'm going to be fair. Most of them ain't watching this channel. Most of them don't watch this channel anymore. They've been left. I'll never watch this idiot again hating on our QB and all this and that. Oh, see, thank you, Jesus. God just stopped me from just being real disrespectful. Because I be wanting to say some other stuff. God working, trying to work on me. And this was a moment right here where his work persevered. Because I was about to say something and tell y'all God ain't done with me yet, so forgive me. But I paused. I stopped it ahead of time. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord. Thank you. Thank you. Because I try to be a good person. You know, I try. And sometimes I fall short. But I do try. And that was a moment where his work is paying off, because I really be wanting to say something to some of these people. I really be wanting to say certain things. Man, I thought TD and Reason was going to duke it out behind Tua. No, man, I don't. Listen, man, I'm 40 years old. Let me tell you something. I'm wiser than I have ever been in my life. You know, because I've gotten a lot of threats. Even to this day, I be getting some people, you a hater, man. If I ever see you, you going to have to fade me one, all kind of crazy stuff, right? I'm 40 years old. You think I'm trying to fight somebody? Not because I'm worried about them winning or anything. I'm 40 years old, man. Like, that's child's play. I ain't got time to play with people that ain't helping me feed my family. And I suggest that with all y'all, especially you young men. For what? You ain't got nothing to prove to nobody. You don't have nothing in your life to prove to nobody. All these threats and fades and fighting and all that, like people to get mad at their opinions online, talk about if I see you. Man, I'm 40 years old. I ain't trying to tussle with no other grown man, because if I fight, it's going to have to be to the death. And why take the risk when you got a whole family relying on you and stuff? You just got to grow up. You got to think to yourself, yeah, I ain't trying to have no smoke with nobody. And again, it ain't because of any fear or anything like that. But you got to grow up and understand idiots fight. Idiots put their life at risk for what? There's a lot of unintelligent people in this world. You cannot engage with those individuals. A lot of people that have zero sight for the future. Zero aspirations for a better future. Why are you arguing with them kind of people? Why are you trying to fight with those kind of people? You don't fight with people that don't have a goal in life, have an aspiration. Those individuals are the lowest of the low. You pray for those people. You don't fight with them. You pray for them to have purpose, vision. Because as soon as they get that, they're going to feel the same way. They're going to feel the same way. I be seeing what's happening out on these YouTube and podcast streets, all this banter, and then it all get nasty and ugly. And half of them ain't going to do nothing anyway. Half of them ain't going to do nothing anyway. Half of them feel like a man just to be able to talk like one on behind a keyboard. You can't engage with these type of people. You can't. They have, like I said, they have zero vision, zero purpose in life. And guess what? I'm talking to some people right now who's been engaged in stuff like that. Don't shun yourself. Don't feel embarrassed. Grow up. You can, right now, you grown up. Change your thought process. Change your thought process. It's the same people who can't have a civil conversation without an insult. A civil conversation without an insult. It don't matter what it is. Football, politics. If you can't have a conversation disagreeing with somebody, no matter how passionate you are about it, without insulting them and cursing at them and all of that, they are beneath you. Do not go down to their level. And you can help rise them up by showing them that they're beneath you. Because it's the worst feeling in the world to feel like you beneath somebody else. That's what a lot of us leaders need to start doing. Show the people who persecute you, come after you and all that, and show them that they're beneath you by taking a higher road. Take the higher road. And it ain't always easy. You're going to slip some time and get down in the trenches with them because some of them deserving it. But, God ain't know me yet. But that's all I'm saying, man. Too much going out here in this world right now, and people are losing people are going bat crazy. They're losing their minds. People are losing their minds. And social media and everything got them so wrapped up in some of these topics and stuff that they're losing their minds over it. Hating their own family because they don't think like them. Don't be one of those individuals thinking that you have to fight for a cause and this and that and this. Man, I'm telling y'all now, man, in this world, fight for you, your family, and your beliefs. And all that other stuff. Because I know some people are going to be like, well, that is my beliefs. Well, all that other stuff, is it paying your bills and helping you survive? Is it paying your bills and helping you survive? Y'all worrying about the wrong stuff. I told somebody this yesterday because they struggling. And I told them, man, you need to focus on what's going to help you not struggle and not all that other stupid stuff. Because even me, I went from paying $85 to fill my tank to now paying $130. But thank the Lord, I ain't complaining about it because I'm focused. So when times like this happen, but everybody else, they cracking because you need to get focused. Focus. All these distractions and all of that, you still got to go to sleep tonight and wake up tomorrow morning and figure out a way to sustain. The heck you driving, TD? I got a SUV. I got 6 kids, man. It's 8 of us rolling in the car when we roll. So I got a big boy. Yeah, but I mean, I use 93. I got to use the 93 because it was a new vehicle. So I ain't trying to just, I want to kind of take care of it. So it costs. $85 to fill tank. What do you drive, a freaking army tank? No, that was when it was cheap. I just filled up for $130. Well, today it went down, but I filled up for $130. I mean, that's where I'm at right now. And I got to fill up every 2 days. I guess y'all I got 6 kids. I just drove my daughter back to college. Drove back. And in the morning, I got 3 different schools to go to. I'm on the road for an hour and 40 minutes every morning. And I'll leave at 3. And an hour 50 every evening. I'm on the road for about 4 hours a day. I fill up every 2 days. So I have a lot of expenses. I got a daycare, elementary, middle, and high. So actually 4 places. So yeah. Shoot, I fill up and I'm good for around a week and a half. Beautiful. Yeah. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Everybody got different situations, you know. Thank God I work from home, right? Obviously, right? But other than that, yeah, man. That be a dream, Marcus. Oh, but anyway, yeah, man, I'm just saying, y'all stay focused, man. Enjoy the things you enjoy, but all this hate and all of this attacking other people and can't have a civil conversation. If something's driving you to not even to lose civility, then something's wrong with that thing. If something got you so mad and angered to the point to where you can't even be civil, something's wrong with that thing because it's impacting you and affecting you in a negative way. So I'm just going to leave that with you. So if some of y'all literally went as far as you did about Tua, you ain't got your priorities straight. You do not have them straight at all. Whew. I put 20 in I'm good for a week and a half. Yeah, man, your boy got real expenses over here, man. That's why I appreciate those who support the channel. Chase just became a member, helping the channel out in what we're doing. And Phil Montgomery did as well. Welcome to the family. Shout out to all the members. If you want to become a member, hit that join button. And also, members have the ability to give other people memberships as well. TD, have you seen our opponents? We cooked. Not necessarily. We got to evaluate them when we see the schedule. We know the opponents, but we got to see the schedule. Let's see how that lines up. All right. Biggest mistake is passing on Herbert. Maybe, I was one of those firm believers, you definitely get Herbert ahead of the guy we got, even Love ahead of the guy we got, but we got the guy we got, and that was a mistake. And here we are today. Man, who in that draft isn't still on their original team? What all quarterbacks was drafted? I know Burrow's still with the Bengals. Herbert's still with the Chargers. Love is still with Green Bay. Who else is in that draft? Anybody else in that draft that I don't remember that what other quarterbacks in that draft, y'all? Because I don't remember. I knew it was maybe one more or something like that. Yeah, y'all gonna have to help me out. Hurts. Hurts was in the same year? I don't know why I keep forgetting that. If that's the case, I just don't be remembering that Hurts was. Dang, I'll be forgetting that. Oh my gosh. 5 quarterbacks. 5 quarterbacks. And it had to be us. The only one. And we were lucked out and had 3 of them still on the board before this one. And we had to be the ones. 5 quarterbacks. Oh my gosh. If they were to say out of these 5 quarterbacks, who's not going to make it? Who's not going to be great? You can't make this stuff up, y'all. You cannot make this stuff up. Gosh. All right, man. Anywho, let me see. I want to try to do one mock draft if I can. What is up with my computer? Keeps doing this to me. Give me a second. Let me close this. Okay. Now let me see if I can do it. All right. I'm going to try to do one mock draft real quick. What site do y'all prefer me to use again? Anybody? What site y'all want me to use for the mock? Because y'all be debating on which site y'all like. Is it the PFSN or whatever? Which site do y'all want me to use? And I got a recommendation from the homie Pure Fins to do a mock draft for let all of them do them, all the different versions, and talk about it. We're going to do that soon as well. All right. PFSN. Let me share my screen. Window. Here we go. Share. Let me do this view right here. Yeah, I'm going to do this view. Let me go 3 rounds. I like our first 3 rounds, having all those picks. We're going to go with the Dolphins. Yeah, y'all hit that like button for your boy. We're going to stick with PFSN. We're going to do some mock drafts. So I'm going to let the system run all of them one day coming up and just see how they pick and see if there's any similarities and stuff like that. Also heard that this gives you a grade now, so we'll see. All right, we'll go slow. All right, let's get it. He's going to, all right. Here we go. Let's do it. All right, Fernando. Ruben Bain. David Bailey. Carnell Tate gone. Giants, Mansour Delane. That's a lot of people got us taking him. Francis is going. They ain't playing in this drive. A lot of these guys are gone. Arvell Reese, Jeremiah Love. The Saints get him a running back because they found a quarterback. Monroe Freeling, some O-line. Sonny Styles. Nice. Oh, look at the Patriots trying to trade the 31st pick, 63 and 95. I ain't gonna lie, that is a solid haul, but it still screws us because that pick 11 is worth so much more. No. Actually, no, that's actually better. I like that. You get a 27 second round pick and a 27 third, but this year you move down late in the first, you pick up a second round pick, and you pick up a third round pick. That would be a haul, but I'm not trading with the freaking Patriots. You done lost your mind? Get out of here, bums. We're going to reject that. All right. And that's just because they, them. They, them. I don't know. I don't know how all that works. But anyway, this is what we got on the board. Caleb Downs is there, who is a nice pick. Okay. Makai Lemon, Jordan Tyson, Kenyon Sadiq, Keldrick Falk. All these picks. The only problem is we're not moving down. See, this is let me say this to y'all, even though I'm not trading down, I am a huge advocate for the Dolphins trading out of 11. I am a huge advocate to trade out of 11. It's just a no-brainer to me. Like, move down all the way as far as 24, 23, late teens if you can, because the additional early mid-round picks, second and third round picks you're going to receive is massive for just the general fact of us rebuilding this team. And Hafley said it. John Eric Sullivan said it himself. Give me 2 cracks at it over 1 any day of the week. Instead of getting the 11th overall pick, if you can give me a crack at 19 and 38, give me that. That's 2 shots of hitting on a player. It's better to have more opportunities to hit than just get a guy who could just be a bust. I got a better chance of getting one of them to make it than one of them just straight up being a bust. So this is a no-brainer. I see y'all in the chat. I agree with you. Caleb Downs is a no-brainer here. I'm just telling y'all, I'm a huge advocate of trading out of the 11th pick, just so you know. All right, so we draft Caleb Downs, and the draft proceeds. Jordan Tyson to the Rams, another receiver, man. Eagles get O-line. Bucks get the tight end. Oh, that's a nice pickup for the Jets with the guard. See, I wanted him around 20. Keldrick Falk, nice pickup. Tackle. Now the tackles are running. Mekhi Lemon goes to the Steelers. Wow. Akeem Mesidor, edge for Miami. I like that. Omar Cooper, Ravens. KC Concepcion. The D tackle, they need to. Bills go edge again. Max, okay. Texans, Terrell, Chiefs, Colton Hood. Gosh, that's interesting. So the Rams are offering some draft picks, but here's the problem with their offer. I don't like the fact that they're taking away a 5th round, a 5th year option with pick number 30. At least put me around pick number 40, but y'all pick 61. I'm going to reject that. This is a little better. Green Bay gives me a 2nd and a 3rd plus a future 2nd in exchange for this pick. I mean, I like it, but I'm not sure I would take that. Oh, yeah. Let me decline, reject Green Bay's. Because I'm going to tell you now, I love Cincinnati Bengals. They're basically giving me 2 seconds. If the Bengals called us at 30 and said, we got 2 seconds for you, 41 and a 2027 second, what are y'all thoughts on that? What are y'all thoughts? Remember, this rebuild is a 2-year process. Even John Eric Sullivan said, hey, 2028, we're looking to compete. What are y'all thoughts on this type of move? And it's funny that y'all having mixed feelings in the chat about it. Somebody said we need instant starters. See, so here's my thing. You need an instant starter, but nobody believed that we're going to the playoffs this year. And let me ask you a question. You're saying there's an instant starter at 30 and there's not one at 41? And these are all logical questions I'm just curious about. For those who say we need starters, so there's a starter at 30 but not 41? Because if ain't no starters 40 on, then none of our picks matter. None of all these 3rd round picks matter. I ain't gonna lie, I'm torn because this is a great offer to help us build our team. The only thing that I don't like is taking away that 5th year option for a 1st round pick. So this is a tough one for me. This is the tough one. And then let me ask you this. Look on the right side. What player on here you trying to take at 30? What player on here do you want at 30? Anybody you see on here that's hey man, you got to get that guy. You got to get him at 30. Anybody? So here's what I'm going to do. Because nobody's saying anything in the chat. I'm going to reject it because there's 2 players on here that I would take at 30. Now y'all might think one of them might be a reach, but barely. First of all, I like Blake Miller, the tackle out of Clemson. And I also like Jacob Rodriguez, linebacker out of Texas Tech. I like both of these guys. I like a lot of these other guys too, but they're further down. And I can 43, I know I'm one of those guys might be there. But I like Blake Miller at the tackle position. And remember, our tackle situation, here's the deal with that. We got tackles, but we're not looking long term at Austin Jackson. And Blake Miller's a really good player that can, but here's the deal. What you gonna do? You gonna start him right away over Austin Jackson, or what you gonna do? And then Jacob Rodriguez, in my opinion, is just a dog. See, this is where like you wish you had a pick. Somebody said Austin Jackson can move to guard. See, oh my gosh. And this is really about just picking up an additional pick next year. That's because I would be thinking long term. See, everybody want to feel the team this year in the draft. That's what a lot of y'all thinking. I'm going to be honest with you. If I'm John Eric Sullivan, I might be going back into that trade proposal. I ain't gonna lie. Because I'm not just thinking about this year, I'm thinking about next year as well. An additional second round pick. So let me resume draft. Trade proposal. These three. Oh, wait, did they switch it up? Did I get different trade proposals? Oh my gosh, it's gone now. And I don't like none of these. Who was it again? Was it what team was it again? Let me try to offer it and see what happened. What team was offering that again? It was pick 41. It was the Bengals. Let me try. Okay. Here's what I'm going to do because I'm just going to counter. I'm going to take 41 and I'm going to take 72. No, I don't like that. Hold on. Let me see what they do here. This is the kind of trade I'll be looking for, but it's so close to being even. I don't think they're going to accept it because I want 72 instead of that 90 pick they were trying to offer. See, they're rejecting that. They rejected that. Let me see if it's what they did before. They were offering 41. I'm sorry, but I want 72. That's the only way I'm doing it, y'all. I want 72. Let me see what this looks like. See, that's pretty fair. Okay. All right, we did it. All right. So now the Bengals took Blake Miller, who we talked about. Colton Hood is gone. Ty Simpson to the Cardinals. Interesting. Well, the guard. Oh boy, guards are going off the board now. Come on, don't take my guy. All right, Jacob Rodriguez is gone. And Green Bay is trying to offer this trade 52 and 84. We're going to reject it. 62 108. We're going to reject because I need to pick here. I already know who I want here. I already know who I would select here in this situation, but I want to get you guys' take. Who would you select right here for the Miami Dolphins? Remember, we got 2 picks in the next 3 picks. Who would you select here? Who would you select right here? Someone said Bell. Someone said Pons. We got a McDonald. Oh, see, you can't give up on your last investment. That's not going to happen. Who do you select here? McDonald is the value, though, which is crazy, man. Does TD Fins Talk just pick whoever is basically the top 3 of whatever big board he is using? LOL. No. Nope. Now, top 3 on this is my player. I would pick Pons here, but I'm trying to see what everybody else would do because we don't have any corners. And this guy can start day 1. All right, not many people in the chat. So we're going to go with Pons, and we're going to hope that the Saints don't take the wide receiver, in which they didn't. And then the Giants are trying to offer a haul, but we're going to reject that. And Washington is trying to offer a haul as well. We're going to reject that. All right. Okay, so let's see. Who's all on the board? When is my next pick? 72. Gosh. Oh, this is a tough one. That would be a reach. Gabe Jacques is a reach. Chris Bell. But I want an edge, man. Oh, Malachi Lawrence. But still, let me see if it's a better corner. Right here, like I want a receiver, but this there's better players, in my opinion, at other positions. There's better players at other positions. I want a receiver, but I'm looking at Malachi Lawrence. I'm looking at Kalen Rutledge that can impact the team better right now, an edge and a guard. Well, I'm going too far down. The value isn't even there. Gabe Jacques. So here's my 3. Here's the 3 players that I would even consider right here. I got Chris Bell. I got Malachi Lawrence or Keelan Rutledge. Guard, edge, or wide receiver. The picks we had so far, we already heavy on defense. We got a safety and a corner. That could be very vital for our team. And now we're trying to decide, do you stay on defense or do you touch up the offense for like potential day 1 starters? That's where we are right now. See, here's how I think about it. Like if I go Malachi Lawrence, we just added 3 players who could start right away and impact the weakest side of the football for us, which is defense. You got 1 of the 2 safeties solidified, 1 of the 2 corners solidified, and you got a edge rusher that goes along with Chop, hoping that he develops well, that can really start your defense and, starting out on the right foot, at least, hopefully headed that way, right? But then if you go the other way, you get Malik a weapon at wide receiver with Bell, or you go with the guard and solidify the O-line. This is why I am a big proponent of trading out of 11, because when we get in this area, we'll have even another pick. This is why I'm a big proponent of 11, picking up some additional picks. See, y'all make me want to do another mock after this just to trade 11 and get some more of these mid-round picks. But I got a decision to make, and I'm going to be honest. This is tough. Maybe not for y'all, but this is tough. Oh, this is tough. Because I'm going to tell y'all another thing. The only reason I bypassed him the first time is because we already drafted Pons. You could also consider Chris Johnson to go ahead and be done with your pair of corners. You could be done with your corners. You got your pair of corners if you go Chris Johnson. There's so many places to go from here, and this is why you got to trade out of 11. I can't believe I'm stumped right now and making a decision. I almost want y'all to make it for me. Because, man, and I'm acting like I'm the GM for real because I really want to get this right. Okay. Out of those four, who's the best player? Who's the best player? Shit, now I done talked myself into wanting to go for Chris Johnson. But then I'm like, am I really going to pass up on the guard to be done with that crap, man? Patrick Paul, Austin Jackson, Brewer, Rutledge, and hopefully Eichenberg can step up. Let me tell y'all something. And Glenn, I'm glad you put that in the chat because that helped me make my decision. This is where you got to take the guard because you're right. Ain't no guards after this, man. There was a run early in this mock. There ain't no guards you love after this. And you got to solidify this O-line, especially with Malik going to have his first opportunity to run a team. I'm going to go with Rutledge because it's the second round, and this is where you want to get your guard. This is where you want to get him. I took him. Yeah, I might have to do another draft because I want more picks in the second round. And we got the assets to get more picks in the second round. I hope Miami do that. Make everybody say, this ain't Madden. I hope the Dolphins do that. I hope they move down from 11. And then whatever that next pick, I hope they move down from that. And get a whole bunch of, and you'll still have a first round because you're going to move down from 11 late in the first. And then move that number 30 for more seconds. I want us to have a lot of second and thirds. Because there's talent on this in this draft in the second and third round, y'all. There's talent. Please, Ted Hurst, survive to 73. He ain't going to make it. Oh, boy. He ain't going to make it. He may not even be my pick, but here we go. He finna get taken. He gone. Raiders took him. Jacoby Lane. Dang, Bryce Land's gone. All right, here we are, 72 to 33. We're going to reject that. 80 to the fourth. We're going to reject that. We need to pick. All right, let me see what's on the board here. Okay, Kamari Ramsey's nice. See, and I'm very skewed about defensive tackles. We keep on having nice defensive tackles on the board, but we keep on thinking about last year's pick. Jadarian Price, Mason Thomas on the board. Jacoby Lane. Josephs. Yeah, I ain't gonna play with this. You got to go edge here. That's going to help solidify the defense, like I told y'all before. And this is one of the last good edge players that I believe is in the draft. There's probably some more, but this is also a win. This is a win. I want Lane, but here's the deal. I pick at 75. I'm going to take the chance of Lane still being there over Mason Thomas. I'm going to take Mason Thomas at 72, and my target at 75 is Lane. So let's make it happen. Here we go, Saints. Oh, Saints took him. Gosh. That's all right. It happens. It happens, y'all. Somebody said, told you. Not loud enough. Not loud enough. So now I'm going to be honest with you. This is where you start to lean a little bit heavier on best player available. I ain't going to lie. The only disappointment I have right now is here I am in the third round, and I ain't get Malik Willis a wide receiver weapon yet. I haven't got Malik Willis a wide receiver weapon yet. We done got the defense a lot of investment. We got us a guard. I ain't get Malik Willis a wide receiver weapon yet, man. Hey, call Tyreek, man, to see how his rehab going. Oh, my gosh. All right, I got to make a pick anyway. Here I go. Okay, no, where's the value? All right, and now some of y'all gonna be mad at me. Some of y'all are gonna be mad at me, but I'm gonna make this for multiple reasons. First of all, I can't pass up the value and keep ignoring it. And number two, if it's any indication of the play last year at the defensive tackle position, I'm sorry, but you can't bank on that. You cannot bank on our first round pick last year. I'm gonna take Caleb Banks. Be quite honest with you, I'm shocked that he fell so low in this mock. But I'm gonna go ahead and take Caleb Banks at the defensive tackle position, because what I don't want to do is rely on our current guy and he don't work out, and that's a major hole when you could have filled it or had a guy competing at that position. So, and this is an investment. Again, for him to slide to the third round is worth it. I don't like this pick. First of all, he's a second round projection, but I don't like him in the second round. I think that he's a project, but in the third round, he's worth it because of the intangibles. Can he put it all together? Can he stay healthy? I don't know. But I think I have to go here because I'm not seeing the old lineman that I probably would take instead. And that's the only place that I probably will want to go for Austin Jackson insurance policy. Let's see here. Let me make sure. Okay, we got our picks. All right, yeah, I'm going with it. I'm going with it. Like I say, everybody ain't gonna agree with that. All right. Next pick is 87. I'm eyeing somebody, but I don't know if he's gonna be there. Ooh, is he gonna be there? All right, one of them's gone. Ooh, wow, they took They took Desmond Claiborne over Price, and there go Price. Gosh, I was going to get me a running back, y'all. I was going to get a running back, y'all. Just letting you know. I was about to get the running back. Get out of here. Get out of here, Seattle. All right. Let me see. Bud Clark. But is that a reach when I got a pick at 90? What are y'all thoughts on Bud Clark? Give me your thoughts. I like Clark, but give me your thoughts in the chat. Branch on the board, Muhammad on the board. Okay, hold on. Yeah, y'all gonna be mad at me. Nah, it's too soon. Fields. Too soon. Oh, I hate it. But I can't do that. All right. I'm going Branch, man. I can't keep on neglecting. I can't keep neglecting like that. You got to get something in the draft in the building at the wide receiver position. And I think he can be a really good number 2 in this league. Skip these trades. All right, we back again at 90. Let's see here. But these running backs be tempting me, but then I want a tight end. I'm going to go Muhammad right here and get me another corner. I love the upside. Again, this is the part of the draft where people may disagree, but I love the upside here. Plus, I'm picking at 94, and I'm going to, gosh, man, who's most likely to be there, Claire or Muhammad at 94? Claire or Muhammad at 94? I'm gonna get my cornerback now. Come on. I'm trying to get Claire at 94. Oh, Cowboys took him. This keeps happening to me. This keeps happening to me. Pick up a 5th. I probably would take this in real life. All right. Then we're going Bud Clark at the safety position with TCU on the back end of the draft. That's what we're going to do. Let's see. This is a heavy defensive mock, and I got a B grade. I'm very disappointed about the wide receiver. All right, Caleb Downs, day 1 starter. I feel like he got the full package in the game. I think that he can contribute right away. We're talking about a guy who can really, and especially with what Hafley wants to do, one thing that I bank on the most, the reason why the corners are the least of my concerns in this draft, and that's why I went with 3 of them, especially on the back end with Malik Muhammad. I think that Hafley's going to make these guys excellent players. I know that a lot of people would think to themselves, hey, man, we got like 12 guys coming to camp at the corner position, so they're not going to invest that much in the draft. They're trying to find another guy. This was a lot of value on the board, especially with the position that our head coach specializes in. Caleb Downs leading the way, D'Angelo at the safety position, D'Angelo Pons and Malik Muhammad being the two guys that can round out the position. Again, Malik's going to be battling it out with everybody else. I think one of the biggest downfalls in this draft right here that I did is the fact that the wide receiver Branch is probably going to be our number one, but I think he's a number two in the league. And he can be a good number two, though, but you still need a main guy. All right. I think that I should have did better getting something earlier in the second or maybe late first, but then that means I'm going to be missing out on something else. Then you got two at the safety positions, Caleb and Bud Clark. I don't know what it is, but I actually, like, a lot of people aren't high on Bud Clark, but I actually like Bud Clark. I feel like based off of the film that I've seen on him, coached up the right way, he has the intangibles. I think that he could be a really good player. The one thing that I'm concerned about, I like, bigger guys. This is 6'2". At the position in the league, you're dealing with a whole bunch of 6 foot, 5'11" guys, and they're really more so speed. But this guy, he can keep up with those other guys and with the physicality. That's what I like the most about him. That's why around this point in the draft, this is where I always pick him. He's just somebody that I want in particular that I think can thrive. Not a guarantee. It's just like a personal thing, all right? Rutledge at the guard position at 43 is a must. It's one of the last best guards. Here's the thing about guards in this draft. You either getting one in the middle of the first or you're getting one right here. And after this, you're really swinging. You're really swinging a bat, hoping that you don't miss. And personally, I think he's obviously, if you invest this type of capital at the position, he's going to be the day one starter. When you really look at it, excuse me. Sorry, y'all. When you really look at it, this guy has the ability to play day one. He's better than anything we got in the building right now. I don't think he's going to have that factor like Liam Eichenberg, which is a big issue. And here's another thing. I think that he's good enough to play either side of the line. I think that you can put him on either side of the line. I think that he's skillful. He's a smart young man, and he's a big frame, man. He's a big guy, and that's what I want, I knew he was big. I didn't know he was 330. Lord. Yeah, I thought it was like 310. That's massive. That's even better. That's even better because he can move too. So, yeah, man, he's going to be a day one starter for the Dolphins, I think. It's just a matter of, do they find somebody who can play on the other side? Because I don't know. Like Eichenberg, I don't know, man. I don't know. I just know I'm going to be honest with y'all. I don't know if Eichenberg will make it. I don't know if Eichenberg will make it, but I do think that they're going to bring in a lot of guys to fight for that right guard position. They're kind of keying Eichenberg in, but I think when they get to camp, they might find multiple guys at the right guard position. And Rutledge is a guy that you could just say, you know what, man, we want to put you on the left. Because I think they're going to invest. I think they're not giving up on Eichenberg, so they're not going to put as much competition over there, but they're going to put all the competition at the right guard position. But this is the guy you want to get for right guard. But if it doesn't work out and one of those guys play better than Eichenberg, let them stay right and move Rutledge over. And I think he'll be able to play both sides. Let's see here. Why am I saying Eichenberg? I'm talking about, what's his name, man? Savanaya. I'm still saying Eichenberg. Thank y'all for correcting me in the chat. Y'all know who I meant. Jonas Savanaya, the guy who is supposed to be the next guy. And y'all tell me if I'm wrong. Do y'all think that this is his breakout year? Do y'all think that this is Jonas' breakout year? And to me, it's just like Eichenberg. I mean, you invested all that capital in him, and now look. Do y'all think that Jonas Avenai is going to work out at the left guard position? I don't think so. So I would actually make this investment. This is a earlier pick. So you gotta roll with it. 43 overall, you really believe that this is gonna be a guy. But I wouldn't limit him to just one side of the line. I think both sides will be an opportunity because Jonah, I don't think, is going to make it. Or maybe you just switch them both. Maybe you switch them. Maybe Rutledge goes on the left and then, Jonah, I'm about to say Eichenberg again. Jonah's on the right. I don't know. But you need to invest in this position. I didn't even want to make this pick because of the other players on the board, but we got to stop neglecting it. We got to stop neglecting it. Where's the proof, TD? Now you act like a politician. Proof of what? I don't know where you are in this conversation. Maybe you watching late. You got to elaborate. Proof of what? Proof of what? Again, I'm still disappointed in this wide receiver situation, and I couldn't pass up on Caleb Banks. I know some people ain't high on him, and that's probably why he slid. But at some point, you gotta. I mean, look at our last year's first round pick. Do y'all know that I be forgetting our last year's first round pick name often? I'm gonna tell y'all a little secret. Right now in my brain, I'm trying to remember who our last year's first round pick defensive tackle's name is. I'm trying to remember. Kenneth Grant. Yes, that's it. Just came to my head. Y'all know I gotta search deep to remember his name. That's how I don't even know the words to use. That's how bad it is. And not to say he can't show up this year and thrive, but it was just so non-existent from an impact standpoint last year that I can't rule out the Dolphins making an investment in the first two rounds at that position either. And one thing I will tell y'all in this draft, there's going to be a defensive tackle as the best player available potentially every time we pick in the first two rounds. There's going to be a defensive tackle available, which is going to be the best player available almost at every pick that we got. And I'm like, man, Miami still might make the investment. Start thinking about the future with Zach and all of that. So, yeah. All right, y'all. Outside of that, man, I think it's still a solid draft. But next time, I'm going to do one where I'm trading number 11. Let me say this, too. You know how y'all were like, we need day one starters, right? Y'all remember y'all said that? Y'all said we need day one starters at pick 30. Y'all said we need day one starters at pick 30. Y'all remember that? Don't trade the pick. We need day one starters. I said at pick 30. Is D'Angelo Ponds not a day one starter? Yes or no in the chat? Let me know in the chat. For this team, is D'Angelo Ponds not a day one starter? This is the part of the show I would like y'all to interact if you can. Okay? Yes, he is. Just to help you out. Is Rutledge on this roster not a day one starter? Yes or no? The answer is yes. Is Mason Thomas on this roster at 72 in the third round potentially not a day one starter? Is Branch not a day one starter at 87 with this roster? You see what I'm saying here? All the way to 87, we got day one starters. I'm telling you, let me tell y'all something about this draft. Falling in love with the higher of picks is so bad in this draft, and here's why. 1 through 90, 70 of these guys can start day one on this roster. 1 through 90. Picks 1 through 90. Like 70 of these guys can start day one. Why wouldn't you maximize how many picks you can get in that time frame, in that bucket? And no. I said that wrong. 1 through 70, I would say, and about 50 to 50 of those guys are day one starters. If you can get more picks in the 40s and the 50s, because you see that big old gap, we went from 43 to 72. Do you know how much talent we missed out on between 43 and 72, almost 30 picks, but we still found a starter at 72 with Mason Thomas? The goal is to trade down even at 11 and see if you could pick up some more second round picks. The second round, there are too many day one starters, man. There's too many day one starters. And we keep trying to go off after this one hopeful guarantee because no player's guarantee. I don't care what player is being picked. Yes, some of them look like it, but nobody's guaranteed. We keep trying to go after the high name guarantee when, man, there's 2-3 starters you can get for it. It is getting late, but I'm feeling addicted. I'm feeling addicted right now. I'm not even going to do the whole draft, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to play around with what that looks like trading in the first round. I'm going to see what that looks like. What kind of haul can we get to maximize how many players we bring in the building? All right. See, look at this. A beautiful, you go down to 18 and you pick up 49. That's beautiful. Right there, already beautiful. Accepting. I don't care who was on the board. Next one. You can pick up another third and a next year's second, just moving down to 29. 74th pick is the profit here and a second next year. Do you know how huge even this offer is? Let me go to the next one. That keeps me in the first round. Then that takes me to the second. It's a big haul, but I don't like it. And then keeps me in the first. Hold on now. Hold on. Let me reject this one because these two are competing with each other. 29, 74, and a second next year. 22, 86, third round. Rejected. But this one is very interesting. But 29, let me see what's on the board right here. Falk, I love. Maybe I shouldn't have did. No, let me go back real quick. Let me go back. Hold on, give me a second. Hold on, let me undo pick, resume, draft. 25. Oh, I missed out on that Chargers one. Because the Chargers one had me at 22. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to have to stick right here because I missed out on the Chargers one. That's all good. So at 18, let me see. You got Lomu, Dylan. I love Falk. Woods. That's wild. Wow. Okay, the chat agrees. No brainer. I'm shifting Austin Jackson to guard, by the way. I'm just trying to get to 30 to see if I can get a better haul. All right, 51.83. Interesting. 61.93. 48 in futures. And my next pick, let me see, is 43. So it's not that far. Gosh, I want some more mid rounds. Let me look at my picks real quick. 30, 43, 49, 75. So I got 4 more picks in that realm that I was talking about. 4 more. That would give us a total of 8 picks in the first 3 rounds. 8 picks in the first 3 rounds. Interesting. Here. All right, I'm going Colton Hood and letting the rest of these fall as they may. 8 picks is good enough. I would like better picks in the mid range. 43, we're on the clock. We're going to reject and reject. 43. Dang, who took the linebacker? Yep, he just went. Jacob Bengals. This man is still on the board. These things are wild. These ain't making no sense. Is there something that we don't know? Or is this PFSN is just out of whack with Caleb? Is there something that we don't know that happened recently or something? $43, $49. PFSN is whack. Is that what it is? I asked y'all, man. Hey, where is he? All right, I'm gonna go TJ Parker, edge. I'm hoping I'm straight Bengals. I'm straight. My next pick is 75. This is where I go Rutledge. Am I doing it again? Yes, I'm doing it again. No receiver early. Ted Hurst ain't gonna fall to 75. Am I doing it again? Sky Bell. Check. Ooh. Ooh, they ain't gonna like this, but I'm going Jacoby Lane over Sky Bell. Yeah. Just as I figured. I'm going Jacoby Lane over Sky Bell. And a lot of people ain't gonna like that, but I want the 6'4" wide receiver. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I'm kind of rushing here because I got to get out of here. All right. I'm going. Ooh. I'm going to take care of my guy. We got our 2 receivers, baby. We got our 2 receivers, and I like it. All right. Then I'm going to go Max Claire. I like this one better than the last one. Jack. Right back in this situation. Like I said, it's a personal thing. I like Bud Clark, and that's our picks. All right, so this is, to me, the offensive route. This is the offensive route. I go get a tackle so I could push Austin Jackson to guard. Let me go, and then I go get Rutledge anyway. Is our O-line not solidified if we did that? I want y'all to think about that. Spencer, Fano, Patrick Paul, Aaron Brewer, Austin Jackson plays guard, and Rutledge plays guard. Are we not good? Are we not solidified on the O-line? What do y'all think about that O-line? How would you feel about that O-line? How would you feel if that was our O-line? Would you have any concern about the O-line now? If those were your starters? And then you add Lane and Branch at the receiver position to go along with Tutu. No. I think that they're going to utilize his versatility. If he's better suited at guard, they will, but I think they're going to utilize his versatility to whatever he proves that he can do in this league. You know, people talk about arm length and all of that stuff. But I like that. I think our O-line would be solidified. Plus, you add the wide receiver weapons, and I added Max Claire on the back end. What will this offense need? With this draft, what will the offense need? Now, this ain't a defensive draft. I did get Colton Hood, help out at corner. I got TJ Parker on the edge, Bud Clark late at the safety position. This isn't primarily defense, but those guys can help. If this was our draft, first of all, our offense would be, nobody should be complaining. Defense is always going to be a work in progress. I actually love this. This gives you 0 questions on offense. And defense, you got a corner, you got an edge, and Bud Clark, I like him, like I said, and you got a safety. Somebody say running back. H.A., man, Ollie Gordon. Those are the guys. I actually like this. Malik Willis will have 0 excuses. 0. Man, there's so many different ways you can go in this draft, but I want to point out to y'all, there are a lot of players that are really good that will be available in these first 3 rounds. It gets tougher in the 3rd, but that's why, in my opinion, they need to try to shift up to the 2nd round as much as they can. And in this draft, we got 2 second-round picks and 1 third-round pick, the first pick in the 3rd round, Jacoby Lane. You got to do all you can to attack the 2nd round in this draft. That is the strategy. Take pick 11, see if you can get an additional 2nd-round pick. And still get a first. You still will have a first for 11. and take some of them thirds and maybe trade back up into the second. Like you take a Max Clare and a Bud Clark, you take those 2 picks and you move up to around 60. Another really great player. And I agree, Glenn. Glenn said all 8 of these players could start for this team. I agree with you. I agree. All 8 of these guys, and Bud Clark, we'll see. He'll be more so a guy who's battling for the position, but I believe he would win it based off of the roster right now. Talking about a draft, you got to guarantee 6 starters in here. Guarantee 6. I think you can guarantee 6 of these guys come out of training camp starters, filling major holes on his team. Then you go into post June 1st, spend a little bit of that money on veterans for the other holes, and you got yourself a nice team. Tony said all except tight end. That's why I said 6. Max Clare, we got to see in camp, and Bud Clark too. I love his talent, but we got to see in camp. Starter on paper, I agree. But I like this. All right, y'all. But it's getting late. I'm finna get up out of here. Thank y'all for tuning in tonight. We were just going to play around lightly on the mock draft. It wasn't even about that tonight, but we ended up doing some, so that was pretty dope. But tomorrow we're going to pick up where we left off because I'm going to be dropping the link and letting others do a mock draft. Can't wait to see Glenn come on and do one. But starting tomorrow, we're going to drop the link like last time because I want to see y'all do a mock draft. Everybody want to talk about mine, good or bad. Hey, let's see how y'all doing a mock. 3-round mock draft. 3-round mock draft. Now, let me be clear to y'all. There's a reason why I don't really be doing 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th round mocks because you can only study but so many players. And me personally, I feel like I'm studied up to about 75 players. I reviewed about 75 players and maybe 30 of them in depth. The other ones taking a look at them, read their bio, watched a few pieces of film. Not too deep. Because you can only check into but so many, especially for somebody who creates content. So I got to also produce content. So that's time that I can't be studying. So that's why certain players that stick with me more than others, that y'all might like somebody better, but it's certain ones that stick with me. So guys like Colton Hood, guys like Jacoby Lane, Rutledge, Bud Clark, see guys like that, more extensive work. And I like what they bring to the table for this team. Oh, Lord. I don't know what this kick person in the chat talking about. All right, y'all. Let me get up out of here, though. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Again, don't forget to check out our sponsor to the channel. Prize Picks, get in on the action, and the link is in the description of the video. I will talk to y'all later. See you soon. Y'all stay blessed. Peace. I'm out.